All right, 12:30 now here at the KFYR Plus News Desk. And as winter sets in, many of us face new challenges to our physical and emotional well-being. Today, we are joined by Dr. Richard Vetter to share some practical whole-person wellness tips for staying healthy, mindful, and connected this winter. Dr. Vetter, thank you and welcome to the News Desk.
Yeah, happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
You bet. So, when you think about whole-person wellness, what does that look like during the winter months?
Yeah, I think, North Dakota is a great place to live. I actually grew up here in North Dakota, been practicing for about 30 years, and we all know that North Dakota, living here is a great place, but it can also come with some challenges, with the colder weather. Certainly, we have to be mindful of being outside and worried about the environmental impacts like frostbite and things like that. But also with the shorter days, daytime being shorter, we run into things that can impact our mental health as well. And so want to be sensitive and aware of like seasonal affective disorder and just feeling down or feeling depressed in the winter months as well. So just want to talk a little bit about some healthy tips that people can consider to be healthy during these winter months.
What are some signs, some early signs that people might be slipping out of balance physically, mentally, or even emotionally?
Yeah, I think so. Anytime that you're just not feeling right, or people around you are making comments that maybe your behavior has changed, maybe sleeping problems, feeling depressed, not having interest or pleasure in doing things that you normally enjoy. I think it's just important to make sure that you touch base with your primary care or mental health provider to make sure that you can have that evaluated.
And what are some of the most common winter health issues that you see most often in your practice, Dr. Vetter?
Yeah, so a couple things. Again, with the colder weather, of course, we have to be mindful of frostbite and want to be careful when we're outside, making sure that we have the appropriate clothing on that we're maybe not accustomed to in the summer months. Accidents, of course, we just went through some wintry weather recently, and we see more accidents or getting stranded on the road. So, want to make sure you have your winter survival gear and a charged cell phone so you can reach out for help when needed. And then, of course, the activities associated with winter, like ice fishing or snowmobiling, being out on ATVs or sled, we see more injuries associated with that, or even
Hmm.
life-threatening things with, some water safety issues. And so we just want to be mindful and make sure that we slow down and are conscientious about what we're doing that might be different in the winter than they might be in the summer.
This 6 weeks during the holidays, Dr. Vetter, a lot of us might overeat, and we probably shouldn't eat stuff we shouldn't eat. Are there simple nutrition strategies that you would recommend for maintaining, energy or mood during the darker months?
Yeah, I think a couple of key things are, just being mindful of, moderation, right? I think almost everything we do, if you do it with moderation in mind, will be helpful. So making sure that, we don't drink too much, but yet we make sure we stay hydrated, particularly when we're out doing physical activities. I think we think about hydration in the summer, but we don't always think about it as much in the winter. So staying well hydrated, again, particularly with outdoor activities, and then being mindful of what we're eating and again, that focus on moderation, and then trying to avoid a lot of highly processed food, eating healthier and maybe smaller, more frequent meals, and just being mindful of that, I think is really helpful.
What role does movement play in stress reduction when it comes to the, cold and icy climate that we live in?
Yeah, I think again with winter months, it's easier to be inside, not be as active. So we just want to make sure that we keep movement. There's increasing evidence all the time that staying physically active is good for us both mentally and physically. It helps us keep our muscles stronger, so our balance is better. We're not as likely to fall. It also helps with mental and mood changes as well. Even gentle or mild things like doing stretching in the house or mild exercises or going up and down the stairs a few times, just anything that'll keep your body moving and not being so sedentary will be beneficial both physically and mentally.
As we head into the holidays, we tend to spend a lot of time around family and friends, so that connection is there. But once you get into the Januaries, late Februarys, and early Marches, why is that especially important in the winter months?
I think, people can feel isolated. I always find it kind of remarkable that with all the ways we have to connect with one another with social media and cell phones and all the things that people still can become very isolated in spite of that. And we do know that, screen time is also a risk that people that spend too much time, scrolling on their phone or on their iPad, that does impact your physical and mental health as well. We know that anxiety, depression are tied to increased screen time, and some good recent evidence showing that even just taking a few hours a week away from your connected devices will be helpful. But with that being said, we want to make sure that people are still reaching out and staying connected with their family and friends, and but trying to do it in a more intentional way, and even face to face is much more beneficial than just sending somebody a text, as an example.
What advice do you have for parents trying to keep kids healthy during the winter months?
Again, I think some of the same things that we mentioned around safety, making sure that, again, they have the appropriate clothes when they're outside, encouraging them to be outside though, and not just, spending time on their phone or on the TV and getting away from some of that screen time. But just doing it in a way that is safe for them and keeping them active. And again, making sure that they're staying hydrated when they're out and busy, whether it's building snowmen or snow forts or sled riding or activities that are pretty physical.
Okay, and as we wrap up, Dr. Vetter, what's one simple, realistic habit that you'd encourage everyone to adopt this winter to support their overall well-being?
Yeah, I think the main thing is just to stay active, enjoy the outdoors as much as you can, but take the precautions necessary to remain safe. We know that people find a lot of joy in some of those outdoor activities, whether it's snowmobiling or ice fishing. But again, just do it in a way that you're going to be safe, and make sure that you're not drinking, as an example, and doing those activities, which will increase your risk of something bad happening.
Dr. Richard Vetter, VitellaCare, thank you so much for the insights today. I sure appreciate it. Happy holidays to you.
All right, same to you. Thank you so much.
You bet. 37 now past the hour. Let's take a break. We're right back here with more next on KFYR Plus.